Good day, everyone, and welcome to our Smart Webinar series. Very excited about today's webinar, 7 Ways to Maximize Voice Technology in Your Senior Living Community. The webinar presentation will be 30 minutes followed by a Q&A session. But before we get started, I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's event. You'll have the opportunity to submit text questions to today's presenter by typing your questions into the questions pane of your control panel. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. We'll collect these and address them during the Q&A at the end of today's presentation. So now I'd like to go ahead and introduce today's presenter, Bruce Barron, the CEO of VoiceFriend, which is the leading provider of voice-activated notification and communication solutions for senior living communities. Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you, Andrea. And thanks for that introduction, and thank you everyone for joining us today for this webinar. While we've allocated an hour for the presentation and Q&A, I know how busy you are, so I'll guarantee that we'll get you out more closer to 30 minutes rather than 60 minutes. So what is the schedule for today? We're first going to discuss some of the challenges that senior living communities face in communications with their residents, families, staff, and even prospects. We'll define what voice technology is and why it can be a game changer for senior living communities. As there are always challenges implementing technologies, we'll discuss some of the bigger impediments to implementing a voice technology program at your community. And then we'll check in on communities that have implemented voice technology programs. And then we'll review VoiceFriend's approach to voice technology and then answer any questions you may have. So at VoiceFriend, we are a Boston-based company. Around Boston, we all learned the story of Paul Revere riding through the streets of Boston yelling, "The British are coming, the British are coming," as he made his way out to Lexington and Concord. Back then in 1775, that was considered standard operating procedure. If you wanted to get the word out to your constituents, you either went door to door or got on horseback and yelled and screamed as loud as you could. We've made a lot of progress in the past 244 years, and senior living communities in 2019 have evolved to this. This is Mabel. Mabel is in every single senior living community we've ever visited. Mabel could be one person, she could be multiple people. She could be talking to staff about open shifts or coverage for staff call-outs or in-service training reminders or staff certification due dates. Or maybe she's talking to residents about activities or mealtime reminders. Or maybe she's talking to families about support group meetings or open houses. Or maybe there's been a flu outbreak and you want to let the families know the proactive steps you're taking. It's inefficient, ineffective, and with voice technology, we believe that there is a better way. So we've done some research into communications at senior living communities. And our main takeaway is that the typical community spends over 10 hours a day reminding, notifying, and updating their staff, residents, families, and prospects. And it could be things such as coverage for staff call-outs and open shifts, in-service training reminders, staff certification, and license due dates. It includes updating residents about activities or outings, mealtime reminders, and even medication and care plan reminders. Families are a great source of referrals, and the more you communicate with families, the more likely they are to refer you to others. So you spend a considerable amount of time notifying them of support group meetings, open houses, or even creating mailings. For prospects, your marketing team is sending invitations, confirming events, and RSVPs and doing follow-up mailings. And of course, CMS has requirements for communications to residents, families, and other stakeholders during emergencies. And it could be that you're communicating to these stakeholders about maintenance issues, weather alerts, and amazingly, we are now still in fire season, hurricane season, and the upper Midwest and mountain states last week, they already received snow. The community alerts could include events or health fairs or even a flu outbreak. In total, these communications add up to 10 hours a day. So what does 10 hours a day really mean? I don't know if that's what your accountant looks like at your community, but it's what we see at a lot of the communities. 10 hours a day equates to over $60,000 a year is spent on these routine reminders, notifications, and updates. And that's where voice technology comes in to drive down costs, make staff more productive, and increase resident, family, and prospect engagement. So what is voice technology? We define voice technology as using voice recognition to elicit an action or response. And we define 3 different types of voice technology. The first one could be outbound automated calls. Think automated calls from your town or schools, your pharmacy or doctor's office. It includes inbound automated calls. Think calling into an 800 number to hear updates, or even telemedicine, providing updates on your health or wellness. And smart speakers. This is where we will focus a good piece of our discussion today. These include Amazon Alexa-enabled devices, Google Home, and Apple HomePod, and include things they can perform such as music, communications, information, and even managing your utilities. Some more examples of voice technology include appointment reminders, medication refills, or RSVPs. It could include wellness checks, or even giving the residents the ability to reach staff to address some of their needs, such as housekeeping, facilities, or maybe the resident has fallen and is not close to their pendant or pull cord. They can reach the staff on duty with a voice command to their smart speaker. So why is the voice technology so important for senior living communities, and why are so many of your colleagues looking at it today? Well, in 5 years, voice recognition market is going to be larger than $22 billion, which is an incredible growth. Currently, 21% of the adult population in the United States already owns at least one smart speaker. Think about that. 1 in 5 adults have a smart speaker. That's incredible market penetration considering it was launched in late 2014. It's becoming ubiquitous in homes across America, and families will be looking for providers for their parents that incorporate voice technology into their community. And amazingly, with 21% of the adult population owning at least one smart speaker, Amazon Alexa still has 72% of the marketplace. And because of that, we'll focus on Amazon Alexa today as part of this presentation. And because of this incredible market penetration, if you're not looking at voice technology for your communities, then you should do so soon. Or what I really should say is, if you are not looking at voice technology now, you should, because your competitors probably are. And so what are resident benefits from voice technology? Well, it can be for those with dexterity issues or vision impairment can benefit. It leads to increased engagement. We did a study at Brightview Senior Living, which showed that resident attendance at activities increased by up to 40% with the use of voice technology. It can be used to encourage health and wellness, turn on your lights or lower your heat, or, manage other utilities. You can use it to call family and friends, either using their audio system or video. And you can also play games or listen to music, thereby increasing stimulation for your residents. Families can also benefit from voice technology. And remember, 1 in 5 adults in the United States already have one of these smart speakers. So a lot of them are very used to using voice technology. And it'll increase engagement and satisfaction, enables them to keep up with your activities and meals and other things going on in your community. So when they speak to their mother, father, or loved one, they can follow along and ask them what sort of participation and whether they enjoyed certain activities. You can provide automated concierge services through voice technology, and you'll be meeting or exceeding the expectations of the families. For staff, one of the big things is they no longer have to answer all the questions that they're currently asking. And the number one question that every resident has at every senior living community in the United States, the number one question, what's for dinner? Well, with voice technology, you'll be able to set it up so they can just either get a telephone call into an 800 number, or use a smart speaker to be able to find out what's for dinner or what the activities are. So this leads to increased productivity for your staff. They can perform such functions as automate their wellness checks. They can provide automated concierge services, whether it be wake-up calls or the packages are available at the front desk. And they no longer have to run around the building or make calls trying to increase their attendance at activities. Using voice technology, they'll be able to do that, as well as if the bus is leaving in 15 minutes for an outing, your residents will be made aware of that through voice technology. So what are the types of smart speakers? And again, we're going to focus on Amazon Alexa devices. They have 72% of the market now. There's the Echo or Echo Dot, which are great for the visually and dexterity impaired. Both of these devices perform the same functions, but the Echo has a better speaker than the Dot. The Echo Dot is priced from $30 to $50, and the Echo costs between $80 and $100. We offer the Echo Show or Echo Spot from Amazon, and these have a screen so those with hearing impairment can read the daily activities or meal specials or care plans or even watch videos. The Echo Show costs between $85 and $225 depending on the size of the screen. And I'm not a fan of the Echo Spot and don't recommend it. And in fact, neither was Amazon, because they discontinued it. I got something in my email saying that they had discontinued it this week. So, but the Echo Show is a great product, and you get these devices straight from Amazon. You can buy them at Walmart, Best Buy, and other retailers. And where are communities putting these devices? Well, obviously, they're putting it in residence apartments for those with visual, hearing, or dexterity impairment. Common areas is a great use for voice technology by residents, families, prospects, and guests. And many communities are putting these devices in the sales and marketing office, which is great for prospects and their families. When they come in, you can ask, does your mother or father or loved one have visual or hearing impairment? If so, we can put one of these devices in their apartment to increase resident engagement. And oh, by the way, you probably have one of these in your kitchen at home, so you can follow along with what is going on at your parents' community as well. And many communities also put these in their model apartments. So is it difficult to set up an Amazon smart speaker? The quick answer is no. It's very simple. You just connect your device's power supply, install the Amazon Alexa app on your phone or computer. You follow the instructions to connect the Echo to your Wi-Fi network, and you enter the password. And then the Alexa is ready to use at that point. It's very simple. To set up Alexa skills or apps, and I should mention that one of the key phrases Amazon uses is skill. This refers to their apps for their Amazon Alexa devices, and these are available in the Amazon Alexa store. And to get started with any of these apps or skills, like for VoiceFriend, you would just say, Alexa, enable VoiceFriend, or Alexa, enable Jeopardy, or Alexa, play Frank Sinatra. It's a very simple system to use. While it is easy to use, it doesn't come without its challenges. There are challenges with voice technology, as there is with any technology that you'll be implementing. To use smart speakers, you need to have Wi-Fi in the apartment or the community or wherever you're going to be locating it. For automated telephone calls, obviously telephone calls that will go out to somebody's land or cell phone, you don't need Wi-Fi. But if you're going to set up these smart speakers, you will need Wi-Fi in the resident or in the community. Languages have been a problem with Alexa. But over the summer, Amazon announced support for various languages, but many skill developers have not launched their multi-language skills yet, and there are only 7 languages currently supported: English, French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, and Italian. And we've all seen the Saturday Night Live skit where the senior forgets the name Alexa or forgets some of the commands, and all of that is true. We all forget some commands regardless of our age. So we recommend setting up 10 cards or posters or laminated sheets with key commands. On the right is an example of VoiceFriend's key commands for Alexa that we give out to our customers that they can provide to their residents or families so that they know all of the key commands to speak to their Amazon Alexa devices. Here's a few real-world feedback. The first one at Leisure Care, which is headquartered in Seattle, and the corporate guest director, Clint Fowler, has been very impressed with Alexa, and they'll be rolling it out. They're rolling it out to their communities. The Arbor Company, where they feel like it's been a big hit at some of their communities. And at Harvard Medical School's affiliate, Hebrew Senior Life, they've used it along with a wellness safety check app or skill using voice technology. And it's been an impactful program for them. So how does VoiceFriend help communities with voice technology, and what is our approach? Well, first, a little bit about us. We're the industry leader in voice technology and automated notifications. We've developed our solution back in 2011, have continually added features to it, including our Amazon Alexa skills. As I mentioned, we're the industry leader. We've been the focus of editorial articles in Senior Living Executive Magazine and McKnight's. And we have a proven track record of success, including 98% retention. That's me knocking wood. You'll recognize a lot of our clients. As I mentioned, Harvard Medical School's affiliate, Hebrew Senior Life, has put us into all of their communities, which I think speaks to the impact that VoiceFriend is having on senior living communities and the seniors in their care. So VoiceFriend takes a holistic approach to voice technology, offering the best communication preferences for each individual, including automated calls to someone's landline or cell phone. Text messaging is great for staff, and email is for families or any combination of these communications preferences. In addition, VoiceFriend has skills for the Amazon Alexa devices, which enables a senior or family member to hear their daily activities and meal plans just with a voice command to Alexa. And it's intelligent enough, so if you ask Alexa at 3 in the afternoon for the events for the day, Alexa will only speak them from 3 o'clock onwards. And all of your programming team needs to do is send us their monthly activities calendar and meal specials, and someone in our support team will enter the information into the system for use with Alexa. And there's no additional cost for this service. Additionally, VoiceFriend has a skill called Staff Alert, which enables residents to reach your staff on duty just with a voice command to Alexa. When a resident requests assistance from their Amazon Alexa device, your staff on duty will receive a telephone and text message letting them know that Andrea, for example, is in room 123 and is in need of assistance. This is great for housekeeping or facilities requests, as well as in case of a fall or safety issue when the resident is not near their pendant or pull cord. It also solves a common problem every community has of residents pushing their pendants or pulling their cords for non-emergency requests, and we all have seen that problem in communities. Staff Alert boosts the safety and security of the seniors and provides peace of mind for the families and caregivers. In addition to the Amazon Alexa skills, what are people or what are communities using VoiceFriend for? For staff, it could be for coverage for staff callouts or open shifts. We did a study at Benchmark Senior Living, which showed the typical callout could take 2 to 3 hours to fill, and invariably they'd fill it with someone on overtime. With VoiceFriend, that 2 to 3 hours comes down to 5 to 10 minutes, and overtime can be reduced by up to 25%. It's also being used for in-service training reminders, staff certification, due dates, and many other staff communications. For residents, it could be getting them to attend activities or meals. We did a study at Brightview Senior Living, which showed that when they sent a reminder to their residents, attendance of those activities went up by almost 40%. And I guarantee you, you probably have 4 or 5 people every day you have to remind them to come to lunch or dinner. With VoiceFriend, you'll set up that message once and automatically say at 11:30 and 5:30, those 4 or 5 people will get a reminder either through their telephone or text or email saying, lunch is being served, please join me in the dining room or something like that. Families are a great source of referrals. The more you communicate with families, the more likely they are to refer you to others. And with VoiceFriend, you can send messages about support group meetings, open houses, or maybe there's been a flu outbreak and you want to let the families know the proactive steps you're taking. You're delivering meals, or an extra nurse on duty, and oh, by the way, you're asking them to no one visit for the next 48 hours. You can take a negative situation and turn it into a positive using communications. And many communities tell us they get an additional 6 to 8 attendees at their prospect events when they send a reminder using VoiceFriend. And as I mentioned, it's being used for weather alerts and emergencies, and CMS has come out with some new regulations around communications to stakeholders. With VoiceFriend, you will be compliant with those requirements. VoiceFriend also offers wellness and safety check-ins, and your residents will be able to do this 3 ways. 1, they could get a telephone call each day instructing them to press a number on their telephone keypad to let them know that they're okay, as well as answer a few questions. Maybe, how are you feeling? Will you be joining us on the outing today? And then you'd get a listing of everybody that responded, but more importantly, you'd get a listing of those people that didn't respond, because those are the people you may need to follow up with to make sure that they're okay. For those residents that don't want or don't need telephone calls, we'll provide your community with a hotline, which enables a wellness and safety hotline, which enables your residents to call to check in and provide updates on their health and wellness. And the third way they'll be able to do it is just by saying to their Alexa enabled device, Alexa, tell VoiceFriend I'm okay. And then you can start a conversation with them. How are they feeling? Do they need to reorder any supplies? Or whatever questions you want to ask. And then you get a listing of everybody that responded, but more importantly, you'd get a listing of those people that didn't respond, because those are the people you may need to follow up with to make sure that they're okay. This service is great for those independent or active adult residents who you may or may not see every day. Performing these wellness and safety checks can be critical to their health and safety. So what's involved in getting started with VoiceFriend? We work on a month-to-month basis, and our pricing is simple. It's based upon the number of apartments. If at any time you're not happy with the impact VoiceFriend is making, you can cancel at any time with no long-term financial commitment. That said, we have 98% retention, and everybody is on a month-to-month agreement. For senior living smart communities, there's no charge for setup, training, support, and that is to start as well as at any time during the period that you're a customer of VoiceFriend. There's no charge for additional training or any support that we provide. And as I mentioned earlier, VoiceFriend will enter your activities calendar and meal specials for use with the Alexa devices. And getting started is easy. It just takes a 20-minute kickoff conference call. And then generally, 1 to 2 weeks later, after we have entered all of your contact information and entered your calendars, we'll have a 1-hour training session. And then after that, you're ready to use the system, and VoiceFriend will be there to support it, whether it be the VoiceFriend skills or the telephone, text, and email services. So to use VoiceFriend, all you need is internet access, and you'll be able to send text messages to your staff, phone messages to your residents. Email is great for families, and we have the skills for the Amazon Alexa devices, which enables your residents or families to hear all the daily activities and meal specials, and it allows your residents to reach the staff on duty for facilities or housekeeping requests or if they've fallen and they don't have their pendant or pull cord nearby. And they can also use the Amazon Alexa devices for things such as their safety and wellness checks. And all activity is logged. So, Andrea, if you send out a message saying there's a storm coming, I need all the staff to come in a half hour early, and I say, I never got that message, you'll be able to look it up and see whether I listened to it, whether it went into my voicemail, whether I got my text message, whether I got my email, and how often I use the Amazon Alexa skills. And that's all I had. I wanted to thank you for sitting through this webinar. And as I said, I was going to do it a lot quicker, and hopefully I was able to do that for you. I hope this was informative. If you're interested in learning more, you can find us at www.voicefriend.net. And if you're interested in seeing a demonstration, it's just send an email to inquiry@voicefriend.net. I appreciate everyone's time today, and I'm going to turn this back over to Andrea so she can ask any questions that you folks may have come up with.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Bruce. That was very informative. It's so nice to be able to learn how some of the other communities you're working with are using the devices within their own communities with their residents. So thank you. We just have a couple of questions that has come in throughout the presentation. One question, do you recommend voice technology for memory care?
It can be very difficult for those with memory care impairments. So it's one thing to use the Amazon Alexa skills or devices to play music or things like that, but if you're asking them to hear their daily activities or meal specials, it can be somewhat frightening sometimes for those with dementia patients or those with memory care impairments.
Great, thank you.
So I'd recommend you take it slowly and maybe just try first with music and then move on from there.
Okay, terrific, thank you. Another question, can Alexa replace emergency pull cords in apartments or residence pendants?
Amazon is pretty clear that they don't want to be known for emergency alerts, and so that you can use it to reach the staff on duty, but we do not recommend it, and they don't recommend it as a replacement for the 911 service or pull cords or pendants.
Terrific, thank you. And Bruce, did you say that your team will go ahead and set up any of the calendar, meal specials? They'll take care of all of that for the communities?
Yes, they will just send it to us either on a monthly or weekly basis, and we'll enter that information for them. And then during a training session, we'll show them how easy it is to make modifications if there's a change to the location or maybe a concert is canceled tonight. We'll show them how easy it is to do that. But for most of our communities, they send to our support team their calendars and meal specials, and we enter that all for them as part of the service that we provide.
Great. Another question came in. How does one get around deploying Echoes in a community at an enterprise level versus creating an Amazon account for every resident?
That's a great question. Amazon has different options, such as for hospitality or for a business, but it can be quite pricey. And that's one of the things, VoiceFriend has some strategies to do that, so you don't have to create an independent account for each resident. But so there are options that Amazon provides, but they can be expensive. And then VoiceFriend does things as well to support that process.
Oh, that's a significant help. Great question, thank you. And just real quick, I'm going to go ahead and complete a poll. If you'd like to learn more information about a trial opportunity at your community, please answer yes or no, and we'll be in touch. Thank you, Bruce, for the great information today, and thank you all for joining us. and I hope to see you guys at our next webinar.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, everybody.